Odyssey connected with me on the level of going home, the theme of going home. For me, that's always been an issue in my life, like finding a place that I belong. And I know that a lot of people deal with that, so it just felt like a fit. This project was a way of reconnecting with my essence and also reconnecting with my aesthetic. So I've always had this idea of taking the classics and reimagining them through the lens of contemporary youth and society. It's about, a guy who goes out into the world and sort of deceives and conquers and then sort of screws up and has a long time getting back home. And I think that really parallels what happens to a lot of young men who get caught up in the juvenile justice system. What happens during the project, of course, is they rewrite the Odyssey in their own voice, as if they were heroes and heroines. The Odyssey project pulls together a group of youth from Los Prietos Boys Camp. Mostly are 17 years old, and they often have drug-related problems, gang-related problems, some violence, usually violence toward themselves or others. There's a lot of substance abuse. I've experienced my share of trials and tribulations, those hard experiences, and shifting and turning them sort of alchemically into something that's productive and positive has been something that I aspire to in my life, as well as if I can inspire other people or share in their endeavors, would be really meaningful for me. They're sometimes with other rival gang members in the class. So you can see the dynamic in the beginning where they don't want to look, they don't want to touch, they don't want to be near that person. Toward the end, when we circle up, usually they are willing to hold hands, they're willing to be together as a group. A lot of the exercises I do are about checking in, silence, relaxation, letting go. And then from there you start to understand what impulses need to come through. It's very sort of weird work for a lot of these guys because they're, first of all, they're not used to closing their eyes in public because that's already dangerous. It's a big, huge, risky thing for them to actually do a relaxation exercise. They laugh a lot, of course, at first, but then ultimately they start to connect. And when they do connect, they find their power. There's one instance I'm thinking of where two guys were, I don't think they were rival gangs, but they hated each other, and now they're friends. Luis Santos, who went through the program in 2013, who had some major issues, which he's overcome. He is a success story in that he's wanting to give back, so now he's actually counseling other youth on how to stay out of trouble. Ray, who comes from a family of gangsters, who shifted, turned around, he got out of that life. My hopes and dreams for the Odyssey project is that it can be duplicated on a national level. And I'm very, very passionate about what I'm doing, but I also realize there's just so much for me to do in terms of uplifting people through theater. And I feel like this is finally something, after all these years that I've lived on the planet, this is finally something which feels like it can come to be because I now have a lot of the perfect ingredients.